At the start of the movie, we encounter the protagonist, Jack. He is a climate expert. He is employed by a federal organization. He conducts studies on shifts in climate and associated matters. Next, we observe Jack alongside his two colleagues in a frigid region. They are collecting a specimen of iced-over snow in that location. However, at that moment, the ice snow begins to crack. It fractures to such an extent that it splits into two sections, and there exists a profoundly deep chasm there. Then Jack notices that the snow specimens he had gathered remain on the opposite side of the chasm. Therefore, without hesitation, he leaps across to retrieve the specimen. But just as he is on the verge of grabbing it and returning, the crack in the snow widens the distance between the two halves even more. Yet, Jack still attempts to jump back, but he fails to make it and plummets downward. Then his colleagues spot that Jack is dangling there by a climbing tool. Then they haul Jack upward just in time. Following that, the trio is greatly astonished by this occurrence. Afterward, the scene shifts to Delhi City, where a meeting on global warming involving governments from various nations was taking place. Global warming refers to the abundance of gases in the atmosphere, and due to these gases, the sun's rays impact the planet. As a result, the heat levels of the planet and the atmosphere rise. Jack is present there too, informing everyone about climate alterations caused by global warming. He states that recently, there has been a swift alteration in the heat levels of our planet, and if we fail to address it, then over the coming century, all ice caps will dissolve and integrate into the oceans. Consequently, it is clear that weather patterns will shift as well, such as excessive precipitation and numerous tempests. And in the northern regions where snowfall occurs, the heat will plummet beyond normal. And due to the plummeting heat, all things worldwide will begin to ice over. That is, everything will be blanketed in ice. Clearly, there will be no indication of existence anywhere, upon which the leader of the United States and the others dismiss him. But an individual who is in fact an ocean researcher believes Jack's statements are accurate. The climate in Delhi City is depicted, which was altering very rapidly. Then we observe the ocean researcher with his study group in Scotland. Bearing Jack's statements in mind, they are investigating climate shifts. And then abruptly, massive chunks of hail begin descending from the heavens in Japan. Those chunks were so enormous that anyone struck by them sustained injuries. Jack converses with his spouse via phone. He inquires about her and his child, named Sam. Becoming irritated by this, his spouse remarks that you are not dedicating any time to us due to this fresh study. In any case, I needed to inform you that our child Sam is involved in a contest. And this contest is set in New York. So will you ensure he reaches the airport promptly? To which Jack assures her that yes, I will escort Sam there promptly. You need not be concerned at all. And then shortly after, Jack drops Sam off at the airport. Then he boards the aircraft with his companions, because they too are participating in that contest. But then suddenly, owing to the tempest, the aircraft begins to tremble intensely. As a result, all the travelers' belongings start tumbling onto them. Witnessing this, everybody becomes extremely frightened, particularly Sam, since he has a great fear of flying in airplanes. Then we observe two researchers in orbit who had ventured there for studies. They notice that a massive ice tempest is expanding toward the surface. Observing this, they become highly astonished. Meanwhile, the ocean researcher observed that the climate is deteriorating in 3 locations. Meanwhile, Sam and his companion arrive in New York. And when Sam gazes at the heavens, he discovers that numerous birds are soaring and heading someplace. This appears very odd to Sam. He becomes highly astonished. In any event, these individuals arrive at the venue where the contest was scheduled, where their initial stage performs excellently, after which they receive a short pause, during which they encounter a young man and form a friendship. The ocean researcher contacts Jack and states that everything you mentioned at the meeting in Delhi was correct, but you mentioned that all these climate shifts would occur in the next century. But that is not so. Those shifts have commenced already, because I was investigating based on what you shared. And I learned about this via an investigation. Upon learning this, Jack becomes highly anxious, because he lacks sufficient time to preserve the planet. That is why Jack requests authorization from his superior to create a prototype of a device that contains climate data. because through it, the climate can be predicted and halted. As a result, the likelihood of devastation will diminish. But for this, his superior explicitly denies Jack. Then a massive tempest arrives in a region of America, due to which such extensive damage occurs that 75% of the individuals perish. And this information also reaches the leader of America along with the superior, following which the leader prohibits the entire nation from operating flights. After learning this, the superior realizes that Jack was completely correct, because events were unfolding as Jack predicted. That is, the climate was transforming quickly across the globe. So now the superior instructs Jack to develop the prototype swiftly. But to accomplish this, Jack and his group are granted only 48 hours. That is why individuals promptly begin constructing that prototype. Then after 24 hours of non-stop effort, he discovers that if he does not act quickly, everything will conclude in approximately 6 to 8 weeks. That is why they must take action to protect these individuals from this impending issue. Now upon discovering this, Jack phones his child Sam and instructs him to return, to which Sam replies that no flights are operating here, so I cannot return currently. Now Jack presents all the data and documents gathered from his end to the leader's associate. But this time as well, he disregards Jack's statements. Just as previously, the ocean researcher observes that the heat is dropping very rapidly due to the climate change everywhere. And if this persists, everything will ice over shortly. Then we observe that owing to this heat alteration in the north, a very rapid blizzard arrives there. We also observe 3 helicopters soaring in Scotland. But owing to this blizzard, the helicopters are ruined and crash swiftly, because ice formed on them while traveling through the air, which also halted the helicopter's rotors. Following which, by crashing down, all those individuals also begin to ice over in the snow and they perish. Jack also receives reports of this adverse climate in Scotland. Now since the ocean researcher was there too, that is why Jack immediately informs him about it, and states that you must depart from there immediately, because a massive blizzard is advancing toward you. To which the saddened ocean researcher replies that it is too late now. It is pointless, nothing will occur. Then he bids farewell to Jack. Then we observe that a massive blizzard is advancing toward them, due to which the ocean researchers and his associates perish. It precipitates heavily in New York, due to which Sam and his associates become trapped there. That is why the security officer instructs them all to head to a library and preserve their lives. And then Sam spots a massive wave resembling a tsunami approaching him, to which his companion was positioned very nearby. Then he swiftly rescues his companion and escorts him to the library. Then we observe the extremely poor state of New York City. Flooding had extended everywhere. Then Sam manages to contact his father Jack from a telephone in the library, and describes the dire state of the entire New York City. To which Jack responds, "No matter what occurs, you and your companions must not depart this library and go elsewhere. And do not be anxious, my child. No matter what, I will certainly arrive to retrieve you." Following this, Jack proceeds to meet the leader at his superior's residence, and provides him with all the details from the research he conducted. Following which it is determined that amid this crisis, he will assist the individuals in the north. And all the individuals trapped there, they will evacuate them from there and transport them to the south. Because the situations in the south were superior to the north, they were not as severe. Following this, Jack heads to New York to retrieve his child with his 2 associates. The heat in New York was so reduced that all the flooding there had completely iced over. And all the individuals trapped in the library are extremely terrified witnessing this horrific view outside. Among them, a law enforcement officer notices some individuals who are proceeding toward the south. Seeing this, all the individuals also considered departing the library and heading to the south. But Sam prohibits them from doing so and attempts to convince them that we will perish. He states that my father is a climate expert. I have spoken with him. He advised that we remain here. This will be beneficial for us, because the heat is dropping very rapidly, and if we venture out, we will certainly perish due to the icing. And yes, trust me, My father has assured that he will arrive here and rescue us all. But none of them trust Sam's statements. Following which Sam's companions and everyone except a few individuals depart from here. The administration, which is occupied with transporting individuals to the south rapidly, because they attempt to preserve as many individuals as possible. Jack and his associates who were heading toward New York. Abruptly, their vehicle malfunctions due to the ice on the path. That is why they had to proceed on foot. There, Sam and the remaining individuals begin igniting all the volumes in the library to protect themselves from the chill. Due to this adverse climate, the leader perishes. That is why a new leader is appointed in place of the leader. Jack and his associates arrive at a frozen region while proceeding, where it was precipitating snow so heavily that even the large structures were concealed under snow. And these individuals were now traversing atop those structures. While traversing, one associate of Jack slides off a structure, and due to tumbling down, he perishes. Jack and the other associate are deeply grieved by his demise, but even unwillingly, they must proceed to preserve their lives. Meanwhile, Sam's companion's condition begins worsening abruptly. That is why Sam proceeds to a vessel on the water with his two companions to obtain medication, because the vessel had emerged from the ocean. Now they were retrieving medication from the vessel. Abruptly, the wolves assault them. The wolves that had fled from the forest and arrived here. They slash one companion of Sam and harm him, but Sam manages to rescue his two companions and returns them to the library. Then they administer the medication to Sam's companion. After consuming it, she experiences great improvement. Jack and his associates were still proceeding forward, but suddenly Jack's associate collapses because he lost consciousness due to the chill. That is why Jack resolves to carry him and remain in one spot. In orbit, the two researchers now observe the blizzard diminishing on the surface. In reality, now the tempest also ceases in New York, due to which Jack's associate regains consciousness, and they resume traversing, and then eventually they arrive at the library near Sam. Here the father and son are overjoyed to see one another, and embrace. Now Jack contacts his superior to rescue his son Sam and other individuals. Then the superior conveys this to the leader. This time the new leader dispatches a helicopter to rescue Jack and other individuals. Very quickly the helicopters arrive there and everyone is rescued. Then when they gaze downward from the helicopter, they discover that numerous individuals in New York are still surviving. But these were the individuals who resided within the structures, and those whom Sam had prohibited from departing the library. They had perished. Then we observe that now the climate has begun to improve gradually. After some period, everything returns to normal as previously. Then the new leader is expressing regret to everyone on television for his error. Because at the start when Jack informed him about the climate shift, he did not heed Jack. He states that if I had heeded Jack back then perhaps today I would have preserved many individuals. I am sorrowful that many individuals perished. And a crucial point, this was demonstrated to us by the environment. It was a minor example. If we do not appreciate our planet, if we do not tamper with it, if we do not manage pollution and similar issues, then we will continue receiving such consequences. This is why the environment has illustrated to us that we humans are insignificant before it. With the president's heartfelt message, this movie concludes here.